So lately I've been playing through one of my favorite childhood video games, this Xbox game called Phantom Dust, maybe you've heard of it, and while playing, I spotted something peculiar. While walking into the in-game shop just like I have hundreds of times before, I happened to notice something I'd never seen before. On one wall of the shop, pinned to a shelf, is a very, very small photo of a kitten. On first spotting this photo, I was immediately intrigued. Who was this cat? And also, whose cat was this cat?
A lot of the time when you think of people that play video games or gaming, you think of people who compete in their games, or let's players, or even someone like MatPat who makes game theories. Maybe even collectors, who knows? But there are very few times that we think of someone who tries to solve mysteries, or tries to essentially showcase odd things in video games. But there is a channel who is primarily known for these things. Let me introduce you to Nick Robinson. No, not that Nick Robinson. That's the actor. That's Porter Robinson. He's brother and DJ. Yeah, that's him. Good job. There we go. We got it. Normally, when you think of mysteries in video games, you think of something more plot or based related to the game's core mechanics or system or character in itself. But it's not very often that you find it being about more specific parts of the game. I'm not talking an important character, I'm talking a character who has 0 Google results. What? Yeah, we're talking about characters like Pappy Van Poodle, who before a certain video had 0 Google results. The character is a Nintendo character, by the way. That's not very common. Or why there's a specific photo of a cat in a video game. This type of dedication to find these things and to try and figure out why these things are in the game, who put them in there, or essentially trying to figure out how to find these things is something that Nick Robinson tends to pretty much specialize at. But apart from just finding out things like odd mysteries in gaming, there are also things like guessing where he is when he's in a sound-isolated booth in the middle of a 7-Eleven in Japan, or the bizarre origin of the hand-holding gun meme. You know that meme that people use when someone's threatening or shooting someone or something around those lines? Yeah, he made a video about that because apparently that's from a video game. I didn't even know that. It could also be about why he loves Phantom Dust so much, or the weird function of hiding disturbing scenes in Dead Space. Yeah, that's a really weird thing. Why is that a thing? I don't know. The way they did it was also very weird. Even then, amongst all of these, we have things like trying to figure out if there's a way to save a Pokemon from a corrupted save file of Pokemon Leaf Green. These are all things that you don't think about when you play the games, but it's something where when you see it, it's intriguing. What is this cat? Where is this cat from? What is the hand-holding gun meme? I don't know where that is from. Let me watch this. I'm genuinely intrigued. And lastly, but not the least, who is Pappy Van Poodle? All of these things are things that he tries to solve and essentially find, and a big part of his content is trying to figure these things out and try and explore it and trying to show it to a larger audience. On top of that, his amazing storytelling combined with his editing expertise, which is really good, especially considering the fact that he used to be editing for Polygon, one of the biggest news outlets in gaming, and you can tell why they had him. But let's also talk about that a little bit. I've been pretty clear about the fact that I don't like talking about drama on my channel, because at the end of the day, I want my channel to be more positive content-wise. Now, I know that talking about Nick Robinson could potentially have people comment about drama surrounding him and his departure from Polygon, so I thought I'd talk about that real brief. However, I will link a video down in the description below that explains it all better, and I highly recommend looking into the situation yourself and essentially decide your own conclusion about it. However, I, as a person, tend to believe a lot in that people can better themselves. And on top of that, I don't even think Nick Robinson really did anything that wrong at his time at Polygon. However, again, that's something for you to decide. His departure from Polygon is considered a bit controversial, and so I thought I'd mention it, and I thought I'd leave a link in the description below to a video where I know someone actually talked and covered the entire thing from a retrospective point of view, which I think is really important with these type of dramas, because a lot of the time those do cover most, if not the entire full view of the situation. I think something that's very important is to be able to look at his content and see why it is so good. Why is it so interesting? What makes it so intriguing? And I think a big part of it is his content in the way it's presented. Can you rescue a deleted Pokemon 15 years later? That's a good question. Let's find out by watching this almost 1 hour long video. What is this really random and weird handheld that is the rarest 3DS ever? Well, apparently it's some random 3DS they had in a museum. Why? I do not know. What is the forgotten masterpiece on the original Xbox? Well, let's find out. I think a lot of the way that these videos are presented and titled makes it very interesting to look at. On top of that, with really good thumbnails, it becomes pretty interesting. And I think it's interesting to say for me that a big part of my titles are, to a degree, heavily inspired by this specific guy. Is he the only person who has caused interest and inspiration to my titles? No, there's a lot of people who has. But I always try to look at other people's titles and the way that they create them and try and formulate my own ones in a way that if I saw it, I would click on it. And I think Nick Robinson really shows what makes some of these things so incredibly good. A lot of his videos and titles, and you just look at them and you want to click on them. But why do you? What makes these so good? And on top of that, what makes the videos of such high quality? And I think a big part of it is his passion for it. He wants to find out who this cat is himself. And so he positions that and tries to show that to everyone. And on top of that, how does he find it out? Well, the guy goes to the length of interviewing the literal director for the game just to find out who this goddamn cat is, because the mystery of cats is very important, and that's something I'll always have respect for. And I think a lot of people overlook content like this. Maybe I'm just weird in the sense of that when I watch a video, I tend to start thinking, what made this video worth it for me to watch? What was entertaining about it? What made it so great? And I think a big part of that is also what kind of makes me try and create my own content and also take and learn from it. A lot of this channel is about what inspires me, who inspires me, how have they inspired me. And I think Nick Robinson's videos is a great example of that. Nick Robinson makes some of the most interesting and inspiring videos on YouTube, at least to me. And I genuinely think that if you haven't watched his content, do. I think most people can find something entertaining in it. So next time you see a video of his in your recommended list, check it out. With all of that being said, I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.